Hello everyone, my name is Timo, I'm head of AI for SandboxAQ, and I'm sitting here with Elena in Davos for WEF 2026. And we're going to talk about responsible AI, but let's get started with a quick intro.
Hi, I'm Elena Maran, and I'm an expert in AI governance and risk management. As a part of my experience, I also contribute to Sensenelec JTC 21 Working Group 4, and I'm an external expert in the Ministry of Digital Transformation and Public Administration in Spain, helping the practical realization of the AI sandbox.
All right, Elena, this is day 4 at Davos, so we're about to wrap up today. Lots of good sessions, lots of sessions about AI, lots of good content. What's your main takeaway so far?
So my main takeaway is that AI is everywhere, right? We see it on the street, on every house, there's something about AI. And there's a lot of talks about the benefits of AI and how we're redesigning a new world and a new workforce where agent and human interact in a seamless manner. But what I felt is there's also a lot of realization that in doing that, we need to tackle the risk that come with that.
That makes a lot of sense. That mirrors my experience too. And it's this, with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility kind of moment. And I think the awareness is there. So how do we tackle it? Let's say I'm a big organization. I discovered these, 1,000 models in my, potentially big organization. Now I know what's there. What do I do next? What's the tangible next step?
Well, for me, the tangible next step is to establish those processes that allow you to govern AI, right? So I always claim that there's a lot of debate whether ISO 42001 is a good starting point. There's a lot of vendors that claim it will give you presumption of conformity to the AI Act, and there's absolutely no case for that. But it's a good way to start thinking who is responsible for what, who is committing to my AI governance setup, how do I get people aware, how do I communicate my AI policy. So that's the natural second step. Once I know what I need to govern, what is in scope, let's attribute roles and responsibility, let's establish processes. So now I am going to conduct risk management, impact assessment, and then let's go tackle system by system with a proportionality rule, right? So in my opinion, AI governance cannot be exclusively associated with compliance. And unfortunately, it's done a lot. People get skeptical about AI governance because they are saying it's just a tick in the box exercise, enforcement is not that certain, so we're not putting much weight on it, right? It's a point of view, and unfortunately it's still a point of view that it's out there. But if you start thinking of AI governance as a strategic enabler of scaling AI in your organization, and if you start thinking about risk-centric AI governance as a way to weight the benefit from AI introduction in your organization with the potential costs if risk materialize, then the picture changes.
Absolutely. Okay, so maybe we scared some leaders here. What should their next step be, right? Like a company who has, is experimenting with AI, which a lot of them at the moment are, but hasn't really thought about managing the risk. Where do they even start?
I always say, don't be scared of experimenting because no one gets real risk exposure from a POC or from trying something out, right? But when it's the time to scale, be sure you have put in place the governance layer that allows you to prioritize the biggest exposure. You don't need to tackle all the risks at once. It would be impossible, but at least be aware what are your main sources of risk and start setting the governance structures around it. I'm a big fan of a change management that is not a big bang, but it's a progressive adaptation. And I'm a big fan of proportionality of your measure to the initial high-level estimate of the risk that you're facing.
Right. And in the flip side, in the detection of the risk, how much do you think can be done automatically by automated platforms or detectors or whatever? And how much do you think this is already a problem that is so complex that there will be always humans involved, or maybe in the driving seat?
So when it comes to risk and when it comes to trying to put a price tag to a risk, I'm a firm believer that you need a lot of human intervention, a lot of analysis of data coming from diverse sources, and you need a proper assessment. The automation layer can come into place once you have created a solid database of impacts and frequencies correlated with given threats. Only then agents can help offering those insights to the humans that they need to best quantify the risk. But until we have the picture clear, what are the systems where my data can be gathered from? What are the parameters that I need to quantify? We cannot automate because it will be just a guess and as good as a matrix where you have a traffic light, red, green, and yellow.
Yeah, very good. Okay, last question. Looking forward a little bit into the rest of 2026, how do you think responsible AI or AI risk in general, vulnerabilities, how's it going to evolve? What are we going to see in the next 12 months?
One thing that I hope to start seeing is the development of the insurance market around AI risk. And that insurances will start understanding that they need to also offer companies a way to manage risk through transfer. Because the way to manage risk inside an organization is to understand not only what is my exposure, but what is my appetite. And when my potential exposure exceeds my appetite, the answer is not necessarily let's shut it down, but let's find an alternative to transfer the risk that I cannot potentially take. And that's where I hope insurances are going to play a bigger role in further advancing AI scaling inside organization, but on the other side being also judges of how good is the governance inside the company, because of course the premium that insurances are going to attach to a given organization will be proportional to how good they are capable of governing AI inside the organization itself.
I really like that point, insurance being a forcing function in the end, right? Like the same way how a car insurance is a forcing function for me staying within the speed limit because otherwise they don't cover if I have an accident. The same way such an insurance could be a forcing function to put guardrails in place, to have those policies.
And then if your ESG rating will include this indicator, well, you as a company will have better financial condition, better access to the capital markets if you implement AI governance. So there's going to be a lot of market forces that are going to influence companies into implementing AI governance. And that's what I hope to see not only in 2026, but going forward forever.
I really like it. Let's take all the help we can get to make AI safer.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Same here.